Hi, welcome to the Big Bear Homestead. And today is episode number 5 in the Predator Control on the Homestead series. So today, we're talking canines. Okay, so what is a canine actually? Well, a canine is just a scientific name for a dog. So that includes your household dog, like Apollo here, wolves, foxes, coyotes, jackals, dingoes, and so on. And even the old feral dog. So, now that we know exactly what a canine is, what do they eat? What do you eat? What do you eat? What do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? Okay, so what do these guys eat? Well, your canines are carnivorous. They're meat eaters. So depending upon which canine you're having an issue with will really be dependent upon which one of your livestock is in danger. See, your foxes and stuff like that, they're going to stay more towards your mice, your rabbits, your chicks, your chickens. You get up with your coyotes, that'll be more mice, rabbits, also your chickens. But they start hunting in smaller packs, then you got calves, lambs, sheep. Your wolves, they'll take down a full-grown cow. So now that we know what they're going to eat, how do we know if we've got the canine problem? So how do you know if it's a canine or not that's causing the issues and the drama on your homestead? Well, if you're lucky and you walk out to your chicken coop or you walk out to your pastures and you catch them in the act, you got a canine problem. But if you're not lucky like that, you're going to have to go do a little CSI. You're going to have to become a little bit more of a detective and start to look around and see if you can find some tattletale signs. So, if you're walking around your chicken coop, somewhere around in the dirt, the mud, the muck, and you find tracks like these, you might have a canine problem. If you're walking around your homestead and you come across scat that looks like this, you might have a canine problem. If you find a trail of feathers that leads to a carcass, or if you're walking out into your pasture and you find one of your sheep with his hind quarters eaten out, you might have a canine problem. Now, to be able to determine what type of canine that you're dealing with, one is obviously the size of the prey. A fox not going to take down a calf or a cow, but it usually just goes with the size of the track and the size of the scat. So now that you've done your CSI work and you've determined that you do have a canine problem, what do you do now? Alright, so you've done all your detective work and you realized you got canines. So now what do? Well, here on the Big Bear Homestead, I go right to the steel. Having a canine around that's hungry is not something that I want to try to spend the time deterring. I go straight to the traps. Now, depending upon your laws and regulations for your state will dictate what type of trap that you can use. Here in Georgia, for canines, I can really only use a foothold or a cage trap. And trying to get a canine in a cage, you stand a better chance of getting a piece of my wife's pumpkin roll out of my hand than you do getting that canine to go in the cage. So we go to the traps. But in other states, you may be permitted to use snares. Now, the snares that they use in other states, have what they call power snares, and they have springs and stuff to them, and there's a specific way to set those up. We're not permitted here in Georgia to be able to use them, so I don't know much about them, and I got zero experience with them because I'm not a snare fan anyway unless I'm in a survival situation. So you can use snares. In some states you can use conibears, and you can use all the way up to the 330 size conibears on land. Here in Georgia, this size has to be in the water. So that leaves me with footholds. Now, depending on what canine I'm going after will determine what foothold I use. For my coyotes, I'll use my MB 550s or my Victor 1.75s. Now, there's obvious size difference, okay? They're both good traps. I like the MB 550s more for my coyotes and even for my foxes. They come night latched, offset, and they're pretty much ready to go out of the box, minus washing them off, getting them rusty, and getting them dyed and waxed. The Victor 1.75 used to be my go-to trap when it came to them, but I had to buy the offsets, the laminates, and the base plates and stuff, all of it to go with it, so there's a little bit more work that goes with them. Now, if you're just targeting foxes, you can go all the way down to a number 2 or 1.5 Duke or Victor or something like that if you want. Completely up to you. Now, I'm going to put right here a link to our making a dirt hole set and making a flat set. Those are the two most popular sets to make when dealing with canines. So now you know what to do. So what are you gonna do once you catch him? Okay, so now you caught a canine. What are you gonna do? Well, this is episode 5 of our Predator Control in the Homestead series. By now you kind of know our feelings when it comes to relocation. So we're not even going to touch on that, because we know I'm not going to promote that. Now, here's the thing. The further you live out in the country, the more chance you have of dealing with what is called feral dogs. Feral dogs is a pack of dogs that are domesticated dogs that have been dropped off and basically been left to fend for themselves. Now, coyotes do get in a pack, small packs, sometimes large packs, but they do usually tend to just hunt in pairs, maybe triplets. Wolves, they'll obviously get in a large pack. Your domesticated dog will get into a pack and they'll hunt as a pack. That makes them twice as dangerous as anything that we have, at least here down south. And the fact that they no longer fear humans really makes them dangerous. So I euthanize those on the spot. No collar, I drop it. I've had too many feral dogs come on my property and chase my children. So you can give me a thumbs down or give me a nasty comment if you like, but if you're a responsible dog owner, 1, your dog will stay on your property, and 2, he'll have a collar with his rabies tag on there at a minimum. So that's that when it comes to the domesticated dog. Now, here on the Big Bear Homestead, with your foxes and your coyotes, if it's trapping season and it's cold enough weather, we obviously dispatch the animal, and then we use everything that we can on the animal. We will harvest his organs and grind that up for bait. We will obviously harvest the fur, harvest his claws, his toenails, to be able to be used for jewelry. We will take the rest of his meat and stuff like that. We'll put it in a black soldier fly bin or a different beetle bin, and it'll clean the bones, so then that way we can sell these bones to veterinary schools or people who are just interested in wanting to put a skeleton together or whatever. We also harvest any urine and any glands, so that way we can make different lures and stuff. But other than that, I mean, we dispatch the animals, because the last thing I want is to have an educated canine that I tried to relocate and he wandered back to my homestead. Because your coyotes, their territory alone is 50 miles. They will travel on a 50-mile radius around your homestead if you have canines on it on a monthly basis. They'll constantly be traveling. Some of your larger ones, your wolves and stuff, they even have a larger territory. So running them off or relocating them the next county over, most of the times won't solve your problem. So that concludes episode number 5 of Predator Control on the Homestead. I hope this helped you guys out. This trapping season, we're going to be doing more trapping videos when it comes to making different types of sets. So those will also be available on our channel after December through February is when trapping season is. So be looking for them in that time frame and after. We appreciate y'all coming by. Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.bigbearhomestead.com. Also, don't forget to give us the old like on Facebook. You can come over and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Also, don't forget our live streams on Mondays and Saturdays, part of the Homestead Network. You can also go to the homesteadnetwork.com to check out any of the other live shows that are going on there. Now, on a separate note, the Big Bear Homestead, we are doing something different. For the next 3 weeks, anything sold off of our website, we are donating 20% to Simply Circus. Miss Nicole over there at Simply Circus needs oral surgery, and it's very expensive. And so they're kind of in a tight spot because she's starting to get infections and stuff. Not trying to put her business out there, but it's getting to the point where it's a health risk now. So we're trying to help out. So anything that gets sold for the next 3 weeks, 20% of what we sell off of our website is going to help Miss Nicole out. Also, there has been interest in this cover right here. So we are doing a silent auction for my hat, my Marine Corps cover right here. What you do is you send your bid to Big Bear Farms Oils at hotmail.com. That is Big Bear Farms Oils at hotmail.com. We've already had, I'll tell you guys right now, we've already had a bid of $100 for the hat. My wife and I both will autograph the hat, and it'll go to the winner, and 100% from this auction will also be going to Simply Circus. So, if you guys don't mind, go check out our store on our website at www.bigbearhomestead.com. If there's something there that you guys were thinking about purchasing, whether it's a t-shirt or not, or scrubbies or pot holders or something, now's the time. Also, I know I get a lot of grief about this hat. So, if you want this hat as a keepsake with our autographs on it, go ahead and place a bid. And Robin and I are going to be throwing a little something special in there for the winner as well. So, thanks for coming by. And like always, have a nice day.